Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see on F1 2020, as always, and one of the biggest problems playing this game is trying to find a lobby where it's clean, and especially when it comes to 5-lap races, because as you can see, it is already carnage. And to be honest, obviously you have to expect people being aggressive, not being the cleanest, but sometimes you just want to have a good race with someone, and then to find that is really difficult and pretty soul destroying, especially when you're a league racer, a competitive driver like myself, where you're used to battling people cleanly and wheel to wheel very hard. See people like Yo Boy or whatever his name is just completely jump the start of that. It's after a while you can see his teammate just doing exactly the same thing. It is incredibly frustrating, where you just want to have fun and you just want to drive, but then there are people who literally just have complete opposite ideas of we've just been completely sent to no. I have no idea. It's just this Red Bull pairing, absolutely, and that was just my fault, to be honest, coming back on the track as well. So we had a tough time recently trying to get some clean lobbies, so we just kept on restarting it, because I just really wanted an intense battle with someone. That's my favourite races, where I have this one person, we have a really good battle with them. So going into turn one, squeezed the guy a little bit on the inside, but Elite Vortex are another guy in the Red Bull, but he doesn't seem to be dirty on this occasion. Going into turn two now, we actually outbrake ourselves quite a bit, but then he just, yeah. It's Red Bull Racing who are out to get me at the moment. I don't know what I've done, but they just seem to not want me to complete a race today. Because no, legit, it took me 30 minutes to actually complete a race, but now we've come up behind Y-Boy Lewis, coming off this corner, having a massive snap of the oversteer. But we keep on persisting. Like I say in the world record videos, try and have some patience, because doing these races and developing this patience actually does help when it comes to league racing. But so we try to go down the inside, but he just pushes us completely off the grass, so we are just going to absolutely send it. And I don't condone this, but when you've had enough, just give it the full send. Luckily it didn't destroy the Renault too much, and we just swung round, and enough was enough. So we tried a different lobby once again. Now we're at Silverstone, starting P6, so surely there can't be any more carnage. Going to turn one, the Renault just turns into me, absolutely sends me into a fit. Haas just kills me, and yeah, really starting to lose the patience now. This is all in the space of 10 minutes when I was trying to do this, but once again trying to continue. I always just try and complete it. It takes a lot for me to actually leave a race. In league racing, I can't remember the last time I've actually rage quitted or anything at all, but in a 5-lapper, sometimes you can actually come back through the field. But coming through here, we've got this Ferrari. See his lightest fashion, so we're going to go down the inside using audio to make sure we're fully alongside. He turns in, giving us a bit of the old squeeze. We try and get the inside for the right-hander, and just before we turn in, nah, just not happening today. Absolutely not happening. And then we just get a 10-second penalty as well, which is really fair. Nah, we're not going to have that. So we did another lobby. This time, I'm trying to achieve what I wanted to, is just to have a fun battle in the race. A nice, clean battle. But again, I think it's always quite unrealistic. So this time we start in P5, then go up into P4, then into P3, getting the move done. So already in a podium position. And we've got FRA Arch, who I've discovered, I always keep discovering new drivers each week. He's someone who's very fast. I think he does do league racing. I don't think he's in the top tier for WR. I think he's in the second tier. I think he actually might have even won that, if I'm not mistaken. Very fast driver. We're going to try and go around the outside of his teammate, and we're leaving this room. But of course, there has to be contact in a 5-lap lobby. There just wouldn't be a 5-lap lobby without any contact. So now, this is what I was hoping for. And I'm on my new rig, on the new setup and everything as well. This is a perfect opportunity for me to evaluate where my performance is at, because I really find these 5-lap races very important, especially when it comes to league racing. I think it really does, as I said, test your patience, but it tests your skill, it tests your consistency. There's an element of tyre wear, fuel management, and ERS management. Just developing these good practices in races such as this, as silly as it may sound, I think it actually does really transfer over very nicely when you do a league race. And it's good for the confidence as well, because when you're racing against other people, such as this guy, FRA Arch, who's very, very fast. We've got McCabe Sam behind as well, another league racer who I race with on a very, very regular basis, When you beat people and you're showing a better pace in them, it really does help with the confidence, which is probably the most important thing when it comes to league racing. If you're confident, then your performances are just going to be so much better. You're going to be so much more relaxed. And that's why I treat these races, when I'm in this kind of scenario right here now, I treat it quite seriously, the same way as I would do in a league race. So right here, I've done thousands of races around a 5-lap around Silverstone. It's featured many, many times. But again, I will just talk through on what I'm really thinking about at this moment in time. So right here, I am just using the fuel, knowing how much fuel to use over the 5 laps, knowing when to put it in standard, when to put it in lean. And I'm just trying to make sure I stay in the DRS zone without using as much ERS as possible. So I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible. I'm planning to do the overtake on the 4th lap, so the penultimate lap, because if you have above 50% ERS for the last lap, unless you make a huge mistake, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to overtake you. And when I do these 5-lap lobbies as well, I'm using a setup in this one, so I'm actually using my league racing setup I used in TSRL Silverstone. I always have a PB over the 5 laps. My PB before was a 25.2. In the virtual GP, in the pro race, I think Marcel Kiefer or someone, they did a 24.8 with DRS as well. So if you can get a very, very low 25, then that is a very good lap, and usually means that the setup is working well and you're driving well too. So we're on lap 3 here. Again, just managing the fuel, putting it in lean, not because I'm scared of running out of fuel, just to keep the engine temp nice and cool, and to get a little bit of, well, not better traction, but just to reduce the wheel spin. Then putting up into rich, and you can see we're almost on 90% ERS, so we are well within the criteria we need for the final 2 laps of the race. So this is a stage where I really want to start getting a bit more close. So coming off Maggots and Beckett's here, love this corner, but the dirty air is quite strong here, so I'm not going to use any of the overtake button. I can tell he has definitely used some overtake button throughout this race, so we're just going to put it in standard again, just try and cool the engine ever so slightly, and we're going to put it back down to lean once again to just cool the engine, so when I do turn it up to rich, we're going to have the maximum engine performance possible. So I'm going to use a little bit of the ERS now, because down this first DRS straight, this is where I want to overtake him, because as I said, Maggots and Beckett's, there's a lot of dirty air on the exit. It's actually very, very hard to overtake, because you're carrying so much speed into Hangar Straight. You already have got so much momentum behind you, whereas corners like this, where you're going from a slower speed, this is the most effective place to use the overtake button. So he's not going to defend, probably thinking, oh, I'm going to be behind him for the last lap, but he probably unwillingly knows that I've been saving quite a lot of the ERS. You can see we're up to 80% with just over a lap remaining. So this is a very, very good position to be in right now. Using the rest of my fuel here, and I will probably use it for the rest of the race really, because the engine has been quite cool for most of the time. So going through here, Maggots and Beckett's, you'll be able to see he's 2 tenths behind. Now going to his left-hander, keep it in 7th, then 6th, trying to get a good exit, and you can see that delta went up by about a 10th or so, using a little bit of it here now. Just remembering we want to start the lap with above 50% of the ERS, that is the target. And due to just carrying so much speed as that Hangar Straight, DRS and ERS is just not a big advantage going down that straight here. So we're in a great position once again, 60%, so actually 10% more than what I would have liked. We actually set the fastest lap, but now this is where we activate the scenario 7, and you'll be able to see throughout the remainder of the lap, just having that ERS and just planning ahead. That's the most important thing I take from these races. Just really practicing the way you drive methodically in terms of how you approach the fuel and the ERS management really does carry over into league races for me, because you can see here now we've just got the ability to push throughout the entirety of this last lap, and he's not even been able to get within 7/10 of a second. You can see that delta. He's not getting anything within that right now. He's not even close. You can see in the mini-map McCabe Sam's actually closer to him than he is to us, and unless we make a huge mistake here, there's going to be absolutely nothing he could do. So really taking this nicely. As we've looked after the car, we're able to distribute the rest of this power going down the straight as well, doing another purple middle sector, and we're on track to do a very nice time to end up the hangar straight, just trying to hook this up nicely, doing that very well. Just 5th gear, just for a little bit of security of the turn in, keep it in rich, trying to hook the inside of this, trying to kiss the curb for the right, and on the exit using the rest of the battery power, and coming across the line, it's a 25.1, which is actually my PB I've ever done in a 5-lap race round Silverstone. So that, again, it really does give me confidence, just gives you a bit more belief in yourself, and it's very good practice for league racing, because the track's the same, it's just the distance, and it just really gives you a good indication of when to use the battery power, when to push, when not to push, where the dirty air is most effective, how you really have to tune your car. It really does help, in my opinion. So we finally managed to find a lobby where we had a clean race. That was a good one with FR8 Arch, so GG to him, GG to McCabe Sam. Nice to see Sierra Rosberg in there as well. Thank you so much for the support on my channel. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you very soon. Peace.